I think the thing that really makes me work more is like, I'm afraid of like that feedback. You're not 10 steps ahead enough. My teammate and I were online on our Figma working. 11:52. 11 o'clock. Look at this. 1 a.m. I don't understand. I'm just going in every day to work feeling like like there's no winning. Heyo, it's Chlo, your favorite internet coworker, or work bestie if you will. We're gonna talk about some career things today. I know that my hair looks very different. I will catch you all up at the end of the video, but I know that a lot of you watch this channel because you're very interested in the product management career path, and I too was once on that side. I remember years ago wanting to be a PM so badly, and it seemed like everyone else around me wanted to be a PM because number one, it's prestigious, number two, it pays well, and number three, you don't necessarily need a CS degree or know how to code in order to be a PM. I used to work in ops and biz dev, and let me tell you, there are so many times that I felt that my job was not important at all. I felt like the side hoe because a lot of companies are very product and engineering first. So they get the strategy, the priorities, the ownership, the responsibility, the visibility, and I'm just sitting there like trying to fight for my importance. And so in product, you're considered business critical and you don't need to necessarily fight for your importance. So this combination probably makes the product manager role one of the hottest jobs in the market. But today's video is about the not so sexy parts of product management, because a lot of people think that being a product manager is like being a mini CEO and you get like all the power. Nah, it's more complicated than that. But it is 8 a.m. right now and I am filming this before work. Let's get our coffees and teas. I'm gonna make an iced matcha latte, so be right back. Look at this! Oh shoot! So I take my vitamins. Okay, so before you decide that you want to become a PM, just know that it is so much work just even trying to break in and get your first job as a PM. First of all, there's not a lot of openings. There's like 1 PM for every 10 software engineers. So if you think breaking into software engineering is hard, my hot take is that breaking into PM is harder. I've seen the numbers, okay? It's also one of those jobs that requires experience before getting your first PM role because it's not an entry-level role. Unless you're lucky enough to get into an APM or RPM program, but most of us don't. So in a lot of job recs, you'll see that every PM opening, even if it says entry level, will say you are required to have like 3 years of product experience.
What?
And lastly, interviews are stupid hard. Because it's not an easy role, a lot of people in it kind of gatekeep. They're like, Gandalf, you shall not pass the interview. And honestly, it's kind of baffling to me how you would expect anyone to know how to answer any of these product management interview questions. Like I had a friend who worked at Lyft in product and he would ask candidates how you might estimate the amount of storage required to store Google Earth. You would also get questions like, how would you improve Adobe Creative Cloud? Go. And that is supposed to last you the entire 45-minute interview. I should probably do a PM interviews overview video sometime soon, but I'm definitely scarred from the hundreds of exercises that I've done during interview prep. They are brutal. I need some time to heal. And lastly, I think it takes a certain type of personality to become a PM. You have to always be on, and you have to live and breathe the world of tech, business, and finance. You always have to be plugged into the latest news. And if you're pretty new to this, you can actually do this pretty easily in 5 minutes every single morning with the daily email newsletter Morning Brew, which is actually the sponsor of today's video. Quick commercial break, Morning Brew has launched a new podcast called The Money with Katie Show. It covers spending habits, smart investing, and tax strategies. You know, all the boring stuff, all the necessary things to become a material girl and manifest your financial freedom. One of my personal goals this year is to not be a slave to money and to make money work for me. And it really was just Women's Equal Pay Day on March 7th, so now be a very good time to boost your financial literacy. Listen and subscribe to The Money with Katie Show every week on Wednesdays on your favorite podcast platform. Thank you to Morning Brew for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to it. iced matcha latte, iced matcha latte. Alright, so now we've established the barrier to entry is quite high. It might be easier these days, but it's not unrealistic to expect like 6 months or 1 to 2 years to even break into product. Even if you get in, being in the role is really hard as well. I've only been a PM at a handful of places, so I thought it'd be neat to introduce you to some of my lady boss friends who are very accomplished in the product world, and they have some thoughts on what the challenges are in this career path. When I used to work at Facebook, I worked on Facebook groups in product development, and I specifically worked to build product for community creators. So think of like Subtle Asian Trades or Asian Hustle Network. And yes, I am friends with the admins and the owners, okay? My product lead at the time was Jaclyn Zhuang, who used to work at Twitch, Google, and EA, and she is now the head of product at Zoom. Here are her thoughts on the PM career.
You're accountable for everything about your product, and I mean everything. Not just launching it, but also how well it lands in the market. To do this, you need to determine what needs to be built, in what order it should be built, and how it should be marketed or positioned when launched. And all this is based on you making the right judgments on who to build for and why, given market trends and competitor movements. That's a lot of different things to understand and get right very quickly. If you're looking to build this muscle, I recommend taking the time to write a detailed product brief that covers the areas I mentioned. This forces you to practice in a structured manner over and over again, so it really becomes second nature.
So yeah, it's a lot of responsibility. My manager tells me that I have to be 10 steps ahead of the team all the time instead of barely scraping by. And honestly, that's one of the hardest things for me to keep up with right now, but I am getting better at it. Jaclyn also mentioned that you should probably write a product brief, and the reality is PMs write so many docs. Like, I kid you not, you are always writing product briefs, product strategies, rewriting them, doing presentations and decks. It's a lot more writing than I thought it would be, and I kind of wish that I learned to write better in college to be more prepared for this role. Even if you have a very strong vision of what needs to be done on the product, there's still a lot of politicking and stakeholders to manage. The people interaction part is really complicated. My old coworker Yinka, who is a product lead at TikTok covering creator monetization and creator analytics, also shares some of her struggles in product.
As a product manager, there are new world events, there are changing feedback you get from your customers, and even sometimes your company's priorities change and that impacts your own product roadmap. So as a product manager, you always have to decide, is my team currently working on the most important thing for our product? Is this going to drive the most positive impact for this product versus the trade-off to doing something else? And around the communication styles, your engineers, designers, leadership, users, to name a few of your stakeholders, are incentivized differently. So you have to figure out, how can I maintain and drive towards the same mission while I have to communicate differently to these different people?
Yinka is a badass boss lady making waves in the creator economy space. She works primarily on monetization products, and just so you know, doing anything with money involved in a product is extremely challenging because you gotta go through legal, global regulations, finance, PR, like data privacy. There are so many things that will shoot you down, and if you mess up, the consequences are kind of irreversible. Even as you become more senior, it doesn't necessarily get easier. I was talking to my dear friend and mentor, Kristin Chen, CEO of Top.gg, ex-director of product at SoundCloud, and a recurring guest on this channel. I asked her what she thought were the worst parts of being a product manager, and here are her thoughts.
You will never have enough resources to do all the things you want to do, and saying no is such an important skill in ruthless prioritization, but sometimes when everything's on fire, you still have to say no, and it can be really painful.
I think my friends here covered quite some good ground, but I have a few cents to contribute. Here are my 2 cents. Being a PM is a lot of work. I don't know if you got that message by now. And your schedule is not chill at all. Like, your calendar is typically stacked back to back to back. And I have to multitask like crazy, otherwise I can't get anything done. I'm literally working in between meetings and during meetings. My DMs and notifications are flooded, and that's not the type of DM slides I want to be getting. And I can't just turn off during meetings. I really have to lean in and be super active. I also have to do regular presentations in front of my team, my org, and my leadership. And leadership product reviews are notorious for being very scrutinizing. My staff engineer watch me present one time, and he said it felt like watching a proverbial firing squad when PMs go and present their product proposals. You really have to have tough skin, strong principles, and impeccable communication skills. I will say though, PMs do pretty cool work, but your heart needs to be in the right place. I asked Kristin why one shouldn't become a PM, and here's what she has to say.
If people are looking to become a product manager and they're only motivated because they want to order people around or have all the power or make all the calls, that's really the wrong reason to become a product manager. The best product managers, or even the best leaders to me, are more of the servant leader type. The best product managers and leaders really have strong empathy. They listen to their teams. They get the best ideas from anywhere, and then they make decisions with that information. A lot of people don't really know what the job is, but they think the title sounds sexy, or they think they're in charge, or they want kind of the glory of shipping something, or they saw that it had a high salary. There's a lot of jobs that pay high salaries, and you should really find out what suits you, because being a product manager is tough. There's a lot of unsexy things like documentation that's super important, or if something goes wrong, it's your fault, but if there's success, it's actually everyone's success. So I think so much of the role is uplifting others and solving problems and conflict resolution. And so really think deeply and spend some time to think about why you want to go into product management.
So to recap, the job is not chill, and I've cried a handful of times thinking that I've not done enough work even when I'm working hella overtime. So if the whole package doesn't seem exciting to you, you can just close this door, because it's not for everyone, and that's okay. But if you heard everything today and you're still fired up, by all means go for it. You are empowered to pursue this career path. But do me a favor and do it because you are passionate about solving problems for a problem space that you are passionate about. I will do a realistic day in my life as a product manager in a future video very soon, maybe the next video, who knows. I kind of did a short one on TikTok and it seemed like a lot of y'all liked it, so I'll do an expanded version on it. Now, Career Chat with Chlo is done. It is time for Catch Up with Chlo, because I got a lot of personal updates too. I mean, you saw the hair. It was really a 7.5-hour session in my chair, questioning why I even did this in the first place, but I did it, and my hairstylist killed it. Also, one of you said that I went from Asian boba girl to Asian baby girl, and I thought that was hilarious. To be honest, I'm having a pretty hard time figuring out how to like match outfits for this hair, because I've never had this color before. So I'm taking suggestions if you have any, okay? I also did a really girly thing and got my nails done. I literally never do this. I usually keep them really short because I love typing really fast, and long nails just prevent me from unleashing my true typing powers. So when these bad boys are done, you should be afraid of my new words per minute. I will film the TikToks in due time. With nails too. Some other really fun updates. I recently met Kristin Chen, aka Chen Buns, virtually. She reached out to meet up. I am a huge fan of her design videos. I also met Angelica Song, who's an APM at Google. We had dinner in LA, and she has inspired me to create a lot more short videos for TikTok, IG Reels, YouTube Shorts. I've been trying out so many types of videos. I don't know what is best for me, but let me know if you have any ideas on what you want to see there. I also virtually connected with Mitchie on TikTok. She's a PMM at Meta. I don't know. I just adore this woman. She is so cute. And Sarah Pan and Katie Yu also slid into my DMs to say hello and to say that they really liked my videos, because a couple of my past videos were based on concepts that they started. Like really, my dream this year is to host like this creator meetup where all of us tech, lifestyle, beauty, fashion girlies can come together, meet each other, take photos, make videos, support each other, because I feel like there is a growing community of these creators and I am all for it. I am super thankful for you watching this channel right now, because it helps me manifest this dream into reality. So thank you for being part of my journey. Anyways, that's all I've got for today's video. Watch out for my next one. I hope it's a realistic day in my life. It's either that or a desk tour makeover, because that place needs to be redone. It is a hot mess. Thank you for watching. Thank you to the Uniqlos who are always supporting me, and thank you to Morning Brew for sponsoring this video. I will see y'all next time. Bye!